Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast. I am your host, Xavier, and with me on the panel, we have the usual suspects. You've got Anthony.
Hello.
Danny.
What's up?
And in his little corner over there is Zach.
Hi, I'm in my little corner.
And, getting back to, as Norman Osborn would say, going back to formula, we're going to kind of do a quick rundown. Each of us individually got to see some fun movies, whether both collectively and kind of separate. Let's open up really to our recently watched segment. Get right to it. As the microwave turns on. I swear it's not a microwave, but sure. Anthony,
What happened?
let's start you up with your recently watched.
All right. So we're at the point now, past a couple of these, those four big shows that we were watching, and a couple of them ended now. So yeah, I finished She-Hulk, Rings of Power, and Hot D finished last week.
Hot D. He swears
dude,
it's going to catch on.
I mean, I hear people calling it Hot D.
I see Twitter just putting Hot
Hot
D as
D,
a
right?
Yeah,
hashtag,
why
so-
not?
Yeah. People like to call it House of Dragons. There's,
Yeah, House of
HBO's
Dragons.
telling you it's the House of the Dragon.
You call
Oh,
it
yeah, but House of
Hot
Dragons.
Dragon if you want. I mean,
I just make sure if it's weird. I have to ask people, hey, did you catch up on that Hot D? And then they look at me funny.
they shouldn't,
They should have known.
because it was a great show. It's not over. Season 1 just finished. They're probably gonna do maybe 2 or 3 more.
Can I tell you my
But
mom's
it's
reaction
Really good. Really
when
good.
I told her it's going to be about 2 years until season 2 comes out? Like, she just looked at me with such despondency and sadness. Like, just
I had to wait.
2 years? Like,
I-
she wasn't mad. She was just like, oh, 2 years?
I don't
Like,
think it'll be 2 years.
I think 2 years.
I
They
saw,
said 2024, but it could easily be early 2024.
I saw a rumor saying it might be early 2020. Oh, sorry, late 2023, if not early 2024. But they would want to push it as soon as possible.
Maybe. At least that gives time for the outlier in the room to watch the show finally.
I
And
wonder who you
and-
guys talking about.
I have no idea.
That's you in the corner,
It's our yeah.
in the
Nah, I
spotlight.
can't
That's you
be.
in the spotlight.
And it would be cool for you to see it, not knowing anything about Game of Thrones. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. You have now.
This is perfect. It's a prequel
Almost-
show that you don't need reference to the actual thing it's prequeling to.
You now have almost 2 years to watch all the Game of Thrones, and
Why are you whispering about that hot D? It's got to be that hot D.
I think
House
I'll I think I'll start with Game of Thrones first.
oh boy.
Interesting.
Oh my god, he's so pedantic.
interesting.
Help.
I've been getting a lot of mixed.
I mean, watch it in
Mixed what?
chronological order.
Mixed what?
like mixed. Oh, you should watch
How you should
this
start
first.
it?
No, you should watch this one first. So I think I'm just gonna go with Game of Thrones. Go with the OG.
He's gonna do the George Lucas, do it in release order.
With the gut.
Yeah. I might just keep it like that.
Okay,
So
let's
you-
start season 1.
You gonna get gut. That's
He's
what that is.
literally get got. Cool.
Because okay.
GOT, Game of Thrones. Keep up. Hot D and gut.
Oh man.
Got that hot D. Yeah.
Exactly.
Got
But yeah,
to, got to hot D. I don't know.
But yeah, for sure, if you haven't watched it yet, I think we recommended it almost every week.
Yeah.
Definitely watch it. It was a great first season. Probably gonna win a bunch of Emmys next year.
I mean, Patty Considine is for sure nominated for something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if what's his name is gonna Brian Cox is gonna win again over him, but I
Who
don't know,
knows?
man.
Remember, he has to go up against other actors that did their part 2s of their shows
He has
too.
to go up against Bob Odenkirk
Yeah,
and
man.
Stranger Things.
everyone from Succession.
Yeah.
That's all I always put that. Just everyone from Succession.
So we'll see.
They're too good.
But yeah, and Andor is still great. If you're not watching Andor, if you are at all interested in Star Wars, watch it. If you're not interested in Star Wars,
I can have
watch
a whole,
it anyway.
We can have a
Good.
whole separate episode of just how enthralling Andor is as a show. As for somebody who likes political thrillers, we've got a few good stuff recently in terms of good political thrillers, but I'd say is Andor's great. Like, you don't have to know a lot about Star Wars to just know that, hey, these are the rebels before they were rebels. if you know a lot about Star Wars, then there's so many really cool and fun Easter eggs and attention to details. But at the same time, if you just want good drama and good acting, a good story, this is written extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Another good one from Star Wars that just recently came out too was Tales of the Jedi,
That was on my recently watched. Thanks, Danny. No, I'm kidding. Good job. Yeah.
which I saw all of them, and I mean they're quick, but I saw them all the day it came out, and they were amazing. I loved it.
We're talking about just how little things help make something better than what you would normally see it as. So Dave Filoni, the guy who did Clone Wars and Rebels, and he's sort of co-resurrected a lot of this cool offshoot media of Star Wars with Jon Favreau. He had worked very closely with Lucas, and he's had this guy who do his music score for all his shows for a really long time. It's this guy named Kevin Kiner, and he did the music obviously for Tales of the Jedi. That music was so good. Like episode 4 and episode 6. Holy hell.
And like for Ahsoka and some of the other characters.
Yeah. No, and you had some fun fact. So I don't know if I should tell this because it might be minor spoilers for the guys, but so one of the episodes shows up a significantly younger Count Dooku and his Padawan. Guess who the Padawan is?
Qui-Gon.
Yes, you got it. The person who plays young Qui-Gon is actually Liam Neeson's son.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
I did not know that.
It is really, really cool.
Very fitting.
Yes, it was really, really cool. There are, again, small nods like that to go through. T.C. Carson, the original Kratos from God of War, he's still obviously Mace Windu. There's a younger Mace Windu. And the guy, and Corey Burton has done the voice for a whole bunch of other things, but he's the voice of Count Dooku over the years, and he still nails like a younger tone, slightly more optimistic, and I don't know. It's the Tales of the Jedi is amazing. It's also I haven't even gotten to the animation. Like the fight sequences are really well animated. Like even like facial expressions with various different things. I don't know how you like that, Danny. Like just catching they're smaller episodes, but the details are really, really good.
I mean, it just goes to show that it doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes or an hour and a half. Like, if you have a good story and a good setup, it'll work. And they nailed it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 10, 12 minutes or so. That final episode, like the art direction was really well done too. Like the last half, that was really dope.
Plus, that character was badass.
Yeah. Like, I was surprised like we didn't get more of that, but just it was really dope.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus.
Would that say that's your recently watched, good sir?
That was my recently watched, and then one that we all saw together, which was my first time watching, was Shaun of the Dead, which you all have seen before.
God, it's great to see his reactions for the first time of just like, like there are times these days a lot of people here at home you have your phone on you, so then you're kind of looking at your phone. All of us collectively are like, put your phone down, and so like it's great because then he put the phone down, then he gets all the little details of like stuff in the background, points of dialogue, things on the radio, tying into what's going on in the story, and like you could see the in your mind just like, oh, I'm being rewarded for paying attention.
It's one of those fun movies where you could watch with people, or it's actually fun watching with people who have seen the movie because you're like, wait, I saw that. Is that something? And everyone's kind of like, oh, he noticed that.
Yeah, there is a thing that I forget because Edgar Wright with those movies is great at establishing and foreshadowing and predicting like just the entirety of what's going to happen. But it wasn't until Zach pointed out just how literal the plan is.
The plot of the movie.
Yeah, the whole plot is laid out. Yeah, we'll just wake up in the morning, start with a Bloody Mary, and it's like, oh wait, that chick's name, the zombie woman in the backyard is named Mary, and it's just, yeah, it kind of blew my brain a bit. So I love discovering fun stuff like that.
It was hilarious too.
You got red on you.
The whole time.
Now I get some of these.
Shame about the
one-liners.
car. Guess we'll have to take the Jag. Like
He's like, it was parked.
it was parked.
She
out.
crashed the car.
Yeah, shame. Nick
So-
Frost is great.
now hopefully by the next couple episodes, I'll have a Hot Fuzz under the belt. We'll go in order.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
good
one I
grief,
need
yes.
to see with you. Like that is, like that's my Charlie Day in a chalkboard or a caulkboard, like going crazy, like showing every little piece of thing connected, reference and meta inference and foreshadowed moment and callback everywhere. Like I could have a whole like treatise on how that movie is that good.
Nice.
Ah, it's too good. Good man. Sorry, getting excited.
But yeah, so that was my 2 bits I've recently watched.
All right, nice.
What about
nice.
you, Zach?
Cool.
So I kind of went on a whole Wes Anderson like phase. I started off by watching The French Dispatch finally for the first time.
Hey, this man took a crash course in symmetry again.
And and I thought it was I thought the film was actually really good, but I felt myself not paying attention sometimes. I'm not too sure why. Even though like I really wanted to pay attention, I really wanted to like the movie like as much as I liked it, but I wanted to like it a lot more as much as I did Grand Budapest. So
That's fair.
Mm.
I still think that's probably one of his best movies.
no, because well, the thing is, I watched that one right after I watched French Dispatch,
Oh,
which is the second movie in that whole Wes Anderson phase that I watched. But back to French Dispatch. It felt very similar to Grand Budapest and like the shots and the setups. And one part that I really was like, oh, okay, that's kind of random, but a nice little touch was the whole animated sequence. Like in the second half of the movie. I
oh,
think
is that
what
the
it
with the kidnapping one? Yes.
Yeah.
The car chase, dude. The
Yeah.
car chase with the was he a wrestler or is he a bodybuilder? I forgot. Anthony, I
I
don't know.
guess he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I
that
guess
part.
he's paying attention.
I don't remember that part, or I don't remember
That
the
part was
character.
hilarious.
I want to say
I-
a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I
that's
think it was
what
bodybuilding.
I think it was a bodybuilder. Which I thought was a pretty nice little touch to the movie. The acting was great as always. Adding in someone like Timothy Chalamet in there was pretty cool to see. And then right after that movie, I think the same night, I watched Grand Budapest Hotel, and I was like laser focused the entire time because it's so good. It's so good.
So, out of the little like short stories that made up the French Dispatch, like which one I guess stood out to you most? I think I can guess.
Wow. I don't remember.
Wow.
I'm
Such a
telling
good
you,
movie.
it was a little hard. I have to watch the movie again. It's on HBO Max. I think it's still on HBO Max.
Oh, look, I have Wes Anderson on the line here to yell at you.
I should probably try to rewatch that movie again this week, if not sometime next week, to and really pay attention this time. But I mean, I don't remember the segments all too well. But there were just certain sequences that were pretty cool, like the freeze frames and the cameras panning throughout the scenes and stuff, which is pretty cool. They did that like maybe 3 times, I think, throughout the movie, which was another like really cool kind of something Wes Anderson would do. I feel
So not the Benicio del Toro inmate who's an artist. whole thing.
That now that you're saying it,
Come on.
I do
to
remember
spoon feed
that
him
being
these.
really like being a little it was cool and it was funny, it was weird, it was everything.
Yeah, you had all like his usual suspects like in the movie of actors and people he likes to play around with in that movie, in that one particularly, but then also even like at the very end, like you still had Edward Norton, but you also had like
Bill
Harvey
Murray?
Keitel was still there. Well, it was like in the first one because again these some of the other like inmates and damn, yeah, like it's but then you had some of the then his other like main people that he uses a lot are the other like storytellers or the people who wrote that edition of the story in the French Dispatch.
Yeah.
Frances McDormand, who if in Island Dog she was the narrator, or no, I think it was the little girl that was like the exchange student or whatever. But yeah, like you have that. That's the one with Timothy Chalamet where the kids are like staging like a protest or a revolt or something like that.
I
Yeah, he's lost.
yes.
Yeah.
Vaguely yes.
Vaguely, yes. There's a part where like Timothy Chalamet's character, he's like, I feel shy about my new muscles, and I don't know why, but I was in the theater bursting laughing.
Oh, where he's in the tub.
Yeah, he's in the tub.
Yeah.
He's like, no, please, I feel shy about my new muscles. Like, and that was the point where I think around the time where I was just, because I think a Dune had come out, and then I watched French Dispatch, and it's just like Timothy Chalamet overload, and I was just ready to just hate on this segment hardcore, and then you look at it like, nah, he's actually doing a good job. Good, like, damn it, like I gotta roll back on the haterade.
So you only saw those 2 movies?
No, I watched two more actually. So after the Grand Budapest Hotel, I think the next day I watched was it Moonrise Kingdom,
Nice.
Oh, there you go,
which
And Norton?
Edward Norton.
yeah, he was the camp leader or scout leader.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the movie was losing me a little bit in some places. It was a little bit slower and not as fast paced, I guess, like the 2 previous movies I just mentioned. But it was still like a really nice done movie. I feel like I would need to watch it again, of course. I didn't hate it, of course, but I feel like I need to watch it again to maybe appreciate it a little bit more, for what it was. And then the fourth one was Bottle Rocket, which was his first film
Yeah.
and the first movie that Owen and Luke Wilson ever did. If you know them, you know Owen Wilson is Lightning
Oh
McQueen.
yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I know the movie that you're talking about, but
Wow.
It's like a like they're both well, him and then both of them and then some third guy are like
avionics engineer.
the crooks.
Oh no, never mind. I was
They're
thinking of another
crooks.
movie with Luke Wilson. But yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
That one was okay.
Actually, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
That one's also on HBO Max.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, all these I watched on HBO Max.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. Like that's pretty cool.
And I don't remember if they had other movies. Like I looked for Isle of Dogs. They didn't have it on there. I think they might have had Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I didn't watch it.
That's a good
Which is
one.
That's a good one.
another
Isle of
animated
Dogs
film.
is also a good one.
What about the Darjeeling Limited?
The Darjeeling Limited.
No, but I think that one's also on HBO Max. I think I have it as like on my watch list, but I
Royal
haven't gotten to it yet.
Tannenbaums.
Oh, that one I haven't. I don't think is on HBO Max either. Like only some of his movies are
Life
on HBO
Aquatic.
Max.
Steve Suzo.
Yeah, all those are not on HBO.
Come on,
I don't know
HBO.
where to find
Come
those.
on, HBO.
Yeah, get with it.
It's like they have
Yeah, Royal Tenenbaums is it's weird. it's cool, but it's really weird. Like it's yeah, like it's yeah. Just watch Royal Tenenbaums.
He makes weird movies.
Yeah, it's great.
They're
like,
fun, they're entertaining, but they're
but
also
they're also
weird.
really weird.
like
Yeah,
weird, quirky kind of movies.
yeah. I'm occasionally you got to be down for that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I need to rewatch some of these and pay attention more.
Yeah.
I need to watch Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
Yes.
We've been telling
Do it.
you for months.
But when you watch it,
Watch
don't
it.
enjoy the music.
I need you to then watch Interstellar and enjoy the music. I'm gonna eat this microphone. Anyway, quickly, I'll do my quick rundown. I mean, did Tales of the Jedi. Been watching Andor. It's really great.
Hot D.
Yeah, that Hot D finale really got things fired up. You got was the other thing? We all collectively saw Black Adam.
We did.
I think like we all got to see that. That was surprisingly a lot of fun. Like you know, The Rock basically doing The Rock things. But I think overall, like it was entertaining. A lot of people in the theater enjoyed it for what it was. You know, not too much depth, but not really necessary for a character like Black Adam. I mean, you can add depth. I'll retract that. Like there is surprising depth to it, at least from the story wise. Like some of the story beats took good, surprising turns. Effects were really good. Action showed off like this kind of DC style of action where that kind of like impulsive, quick speed, kind of like zoomed in pieces from one to the other. Like they kind of had that in Man of Steel, so they did some more of that here with Black Adam, which is cool to watch. Most of the humor worked, some of it didn't. Anthony likes to point out, I think after rewatching it again, I can't figure out exactly where he learns the word catchphrase, but then he says the word
I
catchphrase.
told you, he didn't. The kid never told him that.
I'm pretty sure that's an edit or they cut out a line that was supposed to tie into that. Whatever.
Just the
pretty-
fact that he knew English at all. They
pretty
didn't
sure
explain it in the
He
movie.
had the wisdom of one of the gods. That's all he had to
right,
say.
but that's you telling me that, not the movie.
But the
Or the
Watch
comics.
Shazam.
If you don't read the comics, all they needed was like one little line. That's for him to say.
they had
Oh,
to tell you who each of the gods were. Like that's what I'm kind of like I was kind of bummed about. Like they didn't show you who each of the gods were because in Shazam, you have the wizard giving Billy Batson, and he tells you the power set he gets of each of the gods, and you're getting the wisdom of Solomon. You know the endurance or
the strength of
the-
Hercules,
or the
I think.
resolve. You know the endurance of Atlas, the power of Zeus, like that all that stuff. So it's like, you know, the speed of Mercury. You're like, damn, buddy, like where'd that go? Anyway, could have used a little more of that. Justice Society. They could have leaned more on like the whole, like the ramifications of some outside force just coming in and keeping peace and stability in an unstable country. Like they mentioned it a couple times, and I think they tried to ride the balance, and as a result, some people feel like I felt like maybe they could have rode a little bit more. It would have made more sense of the whole anti-hero kind of thing, but doesn't matter. Point is, it was still effective. You know, the whole Justice Society team was pretty cool. At first, I thought I was gonna really hate Atom Smasher for just being really corny, but no, he did a good job. Like Hawkman was really fun being this crazy stubborn dude.
that Dr. Fate.
And Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate
Best
was
character.
Yeah, he
so
was
damn
awesome.
cool. Pierce Brosnan was so cool.
They could have called the movie Dr. Fate.
They could have.
He,
I mean,
he almost overshadowed.
people
The
at this
Rock.
point really want another Doctor. Like they're like, yo, give us a Dr. Fate movie. Give us this stuff. Like all of his sequences, all of his effects and stuff were done really well. His whole like everything he had with were just like when he's out of helmet, even Kent Nelson, like just portraying as somebody who's like, yeah, I'm strong, but I'm also like burdened with this power because I kind of know everything's supposed to happen. It was cool. Like the villain, obviously, like third act CG villain was kind of meh. But it made sense comic wise because from the comics there actually is that character that actually turns into
The other character.
it's basically
Non spoilers.
Basically
it's like
Satan.
it's like an anti Shazam because it's 6 demons instead. So
Oh,
that's why it was all upside down. Minor spoilers. But
Stranger Things.
you're right. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah, it was okay. It was better than I thought it would be. I wasn't expecting anything from it, but it is one of those. At least to me, it was like it was a middle of the road superhero movie, but for DC, not bad because DC, they have some good ones and then not so good ones, and this one was pretty good. This is definitely one where you kind of have to like click your brain off. The writing wasn't very good, but all the action scenes were great.
Yeah, and
I
like,
liked all the action scenes.
the story beats were hella telegraphed, but like action scenes were great still. Dude,
But
okay,
even
can we talk
the
about
dialogue was kind of
Yeah.
terrible, and that little kid was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. As cool, as
Like-
like endearing as the kid needs to be because he's supposed to be the voice of the people of conduct, like it's kind of corny. But can we talk about that one guy that got on the bike?
Oh,
Can we
okay. The
talk about
futuristic
that?
bike.
Yeah,
Futuristic
on
bike.
the Eternium fueled bike.
Yeah,
where they're over
That
the
was
water,
cool.
right?
Yes.
And he throws the.
That
Dude,
was,
that was cool.
amazing. He's just like, okay, I know how this works. You're not gonna get me this time. He chucks him forward and then hits him with the Eternium boost, and he just
He got bones on.
he got got.
He literally got like he went to a dimension and got cut in half.
Oh my god! That
Everyone in the theater was like, "Oh!"
Yeah,
It was pretty awesome.
that whole theater, like especially like it's just like, oh, he's like cooking people, and good lord, yeah, that was probably the coolest like takeout in the entire movie.
He had some cool takeout moments in general, just
Yeah.
throughout.
Though I will say I didn't like the opening slow motion sequence. I thought that was a bit much.
Which opening?
The one at the
Where he gets resurrected.
after he gets resurrected and he's out in the desert
With
and
the
like
song?
the whole with the song with the
Yeah.
painted with painted
that
black.
was that
Yeah.
was very
I was like,
Thor-esque
it
and
felt
kind of
it felt too cheesy for a character that's supposed to be hella serious.
yeah.
Like he's just like, I'm gonna play with you. It's like, no,
That was
dude.
like the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't need that right now. Like everything he was doing in the chamber room where the crown of Sabak was, that was done well. Like he stuck his arm through the
Through the
rock,
rock.
and then like got
He
him
punched through the
and
rock.
just like and cooked the guy. Yeah, that was really cool. But like overall, it's entertaining. It's worth a watch. Like that's why like
It was
objectively, it's entertaining. I would still say like something like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam are better put together films, but
The first Wonder Woman.
yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
We talk about the first one. Anyway, so that was like part of the main watch. I got to also I was on a whim. I rewatched You Only Live Twice on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Because all the Bond movies are on Prime,
Mm.
and hell, it was I mean, yeah, it's a late '60s Bond movie, but it was cool. It's basically Bond in Japan trying to figure out why some third party actor is kidnapping both the U.S. and Soviets manned missions into space and into orbit. So it's pretty interesting because he's trying to figure stuff out. But the only way for him to really get to the investigation is that like he has to fake his death. Hence why the movie's called You Only Live Twice. And fun fact, the screenplay is written by Roald Dahl.
Cool.
I don't know if you know who that is. Zach is giving me the face of, who dat? Who this man? You ever see a little movie called James and the Giant Peach? Or read the book?
Or read the book?
No.
You ever
I've
you ever
never.
see a little movie called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes,
The original. And,
yes, of
well,
course.
the
Well, the
original
book.
and even the
book.
bat. Yeah, or even
Well, I
the
never
book.
read the book, but I saw the movie. Yes.
You saw both movies? Any movie? Anyway, so
Yeah,
Any
yeah. I
movie?
saw
Any of
the
them?
the
Johnny Depp one.
original.
the original. So
that
that's
one.
the author
I mean,
of
I've
that.
seen the
Matilda?
Charlie, but yeah,
Matilda?
I've seen bits and pieces. Of
Okay,
Matilda.
same author. So same dude who wrote a bunch of really cool children's books wrote a Bond movie. Wrote a screenplay for a
Nice.
Bond movie. And I was like, damn, this is wild.
It's opposite end of the spectrum. man.
Yeah, 100%. And I was going through the credits like Roald Dahl. Okay, this is cool. So I would like that was a fun watch to kind of go through again. You know, Sean Connery's Bond is. I grew up watching a lot of the Connery films. That was my my mom's first introduction to me for Bond movies, even though she loves Roger Moore better. But it's you know, you have a massive collection of the whole collection, I think, on Prime. So
Yeah, all
Uh,
25.
it's a good one. I recommend it. It's a fun one. You know, it can be a little you know, very stereotypical at times, but
Dated.
yeah, dated secure, but that's weirdly part of the charm of it because it's Bond just like muscling through. Like there's a part where something happens and like something happens through a wall, and then so instead of like opening the door, he just busts through the paper wall. And it's like, yep, that's Japan. So and he gets through his own thing. It's really cool. I recommend watching that. And then finally, I got into there's a drama that came out on Apple TV Plus called Raymond and Ray. It's one of these what I like to call a play in 5 acts, where each act has sort of like an established thing, and it's hard drama, just people acting, you know, playing these characters, going through these very unique and interesting life experiences. It's about these 2 half brothers who have to go to their father's funeral, but the father, the part of the will indicated that they had to do, you know, like be at the viewing. The viewing he needed to be a open casket, and he wanted to be naked, and like yeah, it's really kind of quirky and strange. But then you find out there's a whole lot more to the relationship that both of them had with their father.
It's the one with Ewan McGregor, right?
With it stars Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
You know, great supporting cast too. Like I just was very like caught off guard and surprised by like how well acted it was. Obviously you have 2 powerhouses in those 2, but yeah, it's worth the time. I remember watching this, I was like, wow, like they're going through so much and it's only halfway through the entire movie. So holy crap, it's pretty nuts. That's dang cool. But it's like I think an hour and 40 minutes, but I'd recommend it. It's good.
So it's a movie. It's not.
It's a full
not
movie.
a
Yeah,
show.
it's not
Okay.
a show. It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like
and
there's
this
some
is
of
on
like,
Apple.
yeah, it's on Apple's thing. They have a couple other good ones too, but I figured that one just recently came out, so let me watch that. I think I might have mentioned also The Greatest Beer Run Ever. It's a really
Yeah.
good one too.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I know it was a long one, guys, but that's our recently watched because we haven't gotten back to Formula in a little bit.
Did you guys like what's that Shazam Black Adam?
I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Mhm.
Give it like a solid 6.5, 7. maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
give it
on
a
board with
7.
that.
Yeah.
Like again, like there's some of the writings like
Soft
"Ugh,"
6.5.
but Doctor Fate,
Dr.
Doctor
Bond.
Fate is so cool. Doctor Bond, no. Yeah. So with that, I think we can pivot over to kind of like our big thing. Danny, actually, I'll let Anthony kind of bring us up because this is our what I call our subject matter expert on this particular topic because it just he's
Nonsense.
he's more versed in this person's body of work than I am. But we finally are getting around to our what we'd call our Michael Giacchino appreciation segment.
Yeah, with World by Night coming out a couple weeks ago, he directed it, first time directing, which was very cool. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And he also did the music, and that's what he's usually known for. He's been a composer for I don't know how many years now, 20 something, maybe almost 30 years. Michael Giacchino started off doing music for video games that not many people knew about.
Yeah, he did like the Gargoyles game for Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
I'm
a
cheating
while
because
back.
IMDb's here.
A while back.
But yeah, a long time ago. That's kind of where I learned about him first. I
Yeah.
remember renting Medal of Honor Frontline on PS2. Yeah, PlayStation 2. And they had a whole like part in the disc had a behind the scenes, and one of it was the score. And the opening score, like just the opening menu, is so good. And then you look at it and you see this guy conducting it, and like, oh, Michael Giacchino, composer. I'm
Mhm.
like, man, that guy's really good. And it's around the time I was seriously playing trumpet in high school, going into college. But then a few years later, he gets tapped by Brad Bird for The Incredibles, right?
I don't know. I mean, Credibles was what, like 2005,
Yeah.
2004. So if
I mean,
you
he's
check
done
there,
several Pixar
yeah, I'm pretty sure
movies.
he did stuff way before then. But yeah, I mean, I know it's a little weird. I know we mentioned composers in the past. We all like a lot of different music from movies, and it's weird that we haven't really spent an episode talking about any like the OGs like John Williams or Hans Zimmer, anybody like that. So yeah, this is our first one that we're gonna kind of do a semi deep dive on a particular composer, but only because he recently just did something that's pretty relevant in World by Night. But yeah, so I'll kick it off to one of you guys. What's one of your favorite Michael Giacchino scores?
I guess
Zach?
I'll kick it off
Sure,
first.
kick it.
Zach is like, I gotta kick it.
I mean, he's composed great music for great films. But I can't help but think about the J.J. Abrams reboot of Star Trek
Mhm.
because
Very cool.
you get a lot of the music from the original TV shows and movies, but of course more modernized, and he adds a bunch of other stuff to it. And, if you listen to the credit, the music that plays during the credits of the first Star Trek movie, it's a mix of the original theme mixed with the new theme for this era of Star Trek, and then some other crazy stuff and really cool stuff too. And it's
Fuse it together.
yeah, and puts it together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds really great. There's even a part where after the original main theme plays during like the stylized credits, it gets quiet and you hear this Chinese instrument called an iru.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of, it's a string instrument, just kind of plays there for a little bit, and then you have the violins and the like playing that come in the background. It sounds really really awesome. And then you have the rest of the trilogy where he just again brings in great music, or creates great music. You have I think one of my favorite pieces from the second movie is I think it's called London. Is it London Calling? I think, where it's
Probably
like
because
Probably pun.
because of the pun.
Yeah. One fun fact about Giacchino is all his scores, all the titles, it's great because it alludes to something that happens within the piece that he's doing, the actual film or TV show or episode.
But he doesn't spoil it.
He doesn't spoil it, but he like makes a really funny, a really like ridiculous pun about it.
Yeah, well, the title is because of the whole scene where Benedict Cumberbatch's character is kind of introduced and they're in London, therefore London Calling, and it's like just a simple piano piece with 3 basic chords, but it sounds really cool. And then, I mean, just the rest of the score is also just fantastic. But that's one that sticks out to me. I mean, of course, he's done music from like, a lot of Pixar movies, Ratatouille, The Incredibles, of course. And then he did Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
So good.
Which we all saw recently in IMAX.
In IMAX, yes. And I didn't know that he did it, but Sky High,
Wow.
There you go.
the Disney movie.
I didn't know that. He
Yeah,
did
I
Yeah,
didn't know
that.
that.
I
That's
just
what I'm
looked
saying.
it up
Like,
right now. I cheated.
He's probably done a lot of things that I've probably seen. I just didn't realize it was him.
Mission Impossible 3
Mm-hmm.
because J.J. Abrams.
Oh
of
yeah, that's
course.
Abrams.
He did. I think he's done all of them since 3.
Yeah, because
Or
he
I
teamed
think
up.
he did 3, 4. I'm not sure if he did 5. I know he did Ghost Pros or Ghost Protocol.
Well, when
Yeah.
was Ghost Protocol? That was like 2011, right?
it
well,
was
2012.
2012.
Okay, because that's Brad Bird who directed The Incredibles,
Incredibles, yeah.
Ratatouille.
Right.
Yep.
He
I think
sticks
Up,
with his
too,
Disney
right?
boys.
Didn't he direct? No,
Ghost
no, it
Protocol was
someone else.
2011.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Brad Bird.
I mean, he also did all the Planet of the Apes.
Mhm.
true. Yes.
Yeah, because he's good friends with
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves.
Yeah, you know what he also did?
With Matt Reeves.
It's
Not
the
with-
Batman.
It's the Batman. No, he did another movie that again, even if the movie bombs or flops, he will be the highlight
So is
or
he
the highest
also
drop of it.
the
Are you gonna
ludicrous?
say Cars 2?
Is he the
No, I
ludicrous
was
of
not gonna say
composers?
Because
Cars
he
2.
did do Cars 2.
No, I wasn't gonna say Cars
So
2.
you're saying
but
he's the ludicrous of composers?
he is the ludicrous of
Okay.
composers.
Okay.
You could have anything be god awful, but hey, Michael Giacchino did the score. The score is entertaining.
Yeah, there's a couple of those where maybe the movie wasn't so good, but his score was great.
Yeah.
Is it-
One that I what maybe was a box office bomb, but I thought was a good movie was John Carter.
Yes,
I was just about to say it, but I was gonna let you say it.
Yeah.
He also did Jupiter Ascending.
dude. Oh, I was gonna talk about that one.
God,
Dude, okay, whatever you think about that movie, good or bad, the music is awesome.
I don't remember.
That
the
music is really good.
I would say rewatch it and just listen to the music. 'cause
We've
the
had road
music's
trips,
awesome.
Anthony and I. I'm getting really excited here. It's that good.
Just
Anthony
listen
and
to
I,
the first 5 tracks.
Anthony and I have been on a road trip, and like we'll just you know what? Let's fire up the Jupiter Ascending soundtrack, like because it's that good. We just lament how bonkers of a movie that is. Like there's the legends say that there's still bite marks of Eddie Redmayne all over all the sets that they still like haven't gotten rid of yet.
Bite marks.
That man chewed up so much scenery. But dude, it was that score is really great. Like it's really well put together. It's yeah.
Movies okay, but the soundtrack is great. So I would say rewatch it just for the soundtrack. But yeah, that's definitely one of the ones I was gonna bring up. Danny, any of them that you can think of?
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, can we just say how this year alone he's had
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
making that money.
Werewolf by Night, Thor: Love and Thunder, Lightyear, Jurassic World,
Mhm.
The,
The
Batman.
Batman. the re-release of Rogue One, and
And
let's say December,
Yeah.
which is almost this year,
No Way
Spider-Man:
Home.
No Way Home.
Mhm.
No Way Home.
Yeah, that was like a little bit.
What a list!
I'll count that into January because
It kept playing in
COVID's still
January.
good. It was playing until like February. So yeah.
But
and it re-released this year.
Yeah,
That-
that counts.
true.
Re-release. We
Yeah.
counted Rogue One's re-release, so we have to count
the
No Way
the
Home's re-release.
more fun stuff.
Mhm.
7. That's 7 this year alone.
Yeah, man.
Guys,
He's
busy.
a popular man nowadays.
I mean, it's rightfully so, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought this way before, but I've heard other people say it that he's kind of like slowly taking the mantle from John Williams. Like John Williams, the GOAT,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I've
he's
said
like,
it a few
and he's
times.
been the past maybe like decade, like supplanting himself as maybe the new John Williams.
Yeah, I've said it a couple times
Yeah,
on the
it's-
podcast. Like he's becoming this generation's
For
John
sure.
Williams.
Definitely, Disney loves him. They've used him for so many projects. So many projects. There was a while where he just did,
All
I
Pixar.
think, almost every Pixar movie, and if not the movie, he would do the short that was before the Pixar
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, like La Luna.
Yeah, it was kind of wild how many consecutive Pixar projects that he did, and then from there it just went into standard Disney movies / Marvel.
I mean, two of my favorite in general for Michael Giacchino, they're both Pixar, but would be The Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So awesome,
Just so many themes in that one in general that were
and the whole
were-
jazzy feel.
Yeah.
The whole jazzy feel was so cool.
and the next one would be Coco.
Oh
Coco's-
man,
But
Coco's so good.
That one for me was just more special, just because I play guitar and
Un poco
I love that vibe, and
Oh hell yeah.
it was so good.
And now that we're on the Pixar kick, I don't think we can not mention. I mean, Zach mentioned it, but Up.
Yeah.
He won an Oscar
It's
for
the Oscar for it,
it.
man.
Rightly deserved. He's part of the reason that you probably cried in the
In that
first,
first
10 minutes. Because those first 10 minutes were just him playing music and the visual of the movie. There was no dialogue, and it was
Yeah, it was just the music and the visuals.
fantastic.
I mean,
Fantastic.
I hear that song all over Instagram now.
Yeah,
used in,
because if it's
Reels
like a
and
sad
TikToks
video,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
if they're playing a sad video, it's like, oh, here's the Up music.
it's like
And if I get
one in
sad,
every
it's like
10.
it's not because of that video I'm watching. It's because I'm remembering that scene. It's like, oh,
and they
Don't do
play
that to me.
they use
The
a part
soft
where it's
part.
like just the slow piano.
yeah, it's not cool.
Oh
They
man.
know how to toy with
Because
their
I
feelings.
know when that was. It's not cool.
Another one, just looking through his catalog here, which Zach needs to see.
All of them.
Lost.
Oh, that was gonna be mine that I was gonna mention.
Oh, because J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
I was a
J.J.
producer
Abrams,
on
he's
there.
producer and he directed the pilot. But yeah, you guys definitely need to watch that. Or I think Danny has seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think
you
it's
should watch it again.
Just me.
Just
Then.
watch it again.
You know what other another show he did music for
Fringe.
yeah, Fringe.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Alias. I was like, not that one, but
that one too.
yeah, that one too. But no, he did Fringe. I loved the intro for Fringe. Just this weird kind of like sci-fi show, and that like he knows how to play with all these different styles and tones so well. Like at one point he can go from something playful to then emotionally tugging to action packed to thrilling. He can even go nuts with like heavy metal guitar like he just did with Love and Thunder.
I
I-
wish they played it more.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it. That
I wanted
much in
more.
the
There was
movie.
like one or two times of that theme. It was just in just 2 times in the movie. But I mentioned it
Well-
before. Like that Medal of Honor Frontline score is like when you think like you always think like when you look back on like World War II, and there's always a style of music with that. Like there's solemn horns and maybe like some thrilling strings and maybe like like background vocal chorus. He nails that like just from the opening, and like it's like bone chilling. You're like, man, this is we're like it puts into like the heaviness that came with around that time. Like, hey, like you're playing in missions in World War II. Like there's such a massive gravity to all that, and that was that. I was like, this is all from a video game, and then to see him kind of blow up and become really this, the go-to for like right now 3 different directors. Like it's
Matt
really
Reeves,
incredible. Matt Reeves,
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams,
Brad Bird.
Brad Bird. Well, 4 now, I guess. All the Pixar people, but he can just kind of go and
Himself.
yeah, and even Taika Waititi for a second. He did Jojo Rabbit, the score for Jojo Rabbit. Um, he did Inside Out. I just remembered he also did Inside Out. And now I'm like trying not to remember Bing Bong. I'm like, please God, no, don't freak out on. Oh man.
I mean, lately in his
But the real one, the other one, I would say, didn't mean to cut you off there. But
no.
the other one that I really to this day like still think it's like, man, it's really unique and has helped set and almost course correct for a whole entire massive franchise, because for a franchise that at first was known for not having a very memorable music score, music theme for its characters, was his score for Doctor Strange. I thought that one was really cool. Like it set up an exact theme. Like it was that kind of like, trippy, psychedelic style of just with this, kind of like a South Asian instruments and
The
the kind of mystical
harpsichord,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, the harpsichord stuff, the long end strings that you got from the theme too. I thought it was so cool. Like it helped make that movie be better than what it wasn't normally. Like he just you put that little Giacchino uh magic
Sprinkle.
secret sprinkle secret sauce and you get some really good stuff.
Yeah, where pretty much when you mentioned it, Lost was I think the first time I really started to notice, because I'm sure there were things before Lost that I may have seen that he did. I just didn't notice it was him. But Lost is probably my favorite show, if not one of my favorite shows. Um, and definitely his music is one of the reasons. And a lot of the creators of the show and the actors, they all kind of say the same thing, where it's like the music in the show is like super important and essentially like another character that like
It
if
is
you
a character.
yeah, if you watch the show with like put it on mute without the music, like it would be completely different. And some people might call it, maybe it was like a little cheesy, but it was like consistently like that, where it just you got used to it and like, okay, this is how the music of the show is. And it's just like always just random weird noises and sounds with different instruments. And what I liked that he did was that for the pilot, they actually got a real plane that they used for the plane wreckage on the island, and he used parts of the plane as instruments and to make all these weird
Sweet.
percussion noises. And like for he would put like a string against like two random metals from like the fuselage and make some really weird, bone tingling noises when he would just like do like use like a razor sharp metal edge on this random part of the plane. I was like, oh man, how's he getting that sound? It's so strange. But yeah, that show, I loved it. And the music is incredible. So
What was the name
definitely
of
recommend
what was the name of there
watching
was one
Lost and pay attention to the music. There's so many different
there was one
themes.
song in season 5. I forget, it was like Indiana something and the Temple of Boom.
Yeah,
Like-
they're
like-
all his tracks. Like I don't know if it's him that comes up with the names or he has someone that helps him.
No, it's got to be
But
him.
literally everything that he does, every soundtrack that he does, all the tracks are some sort of pun.
Yeah.
Like there was one, just off the top of my head, there was a character named Kimi, and it was like the music of when they were fighting the character of Kimi, and it was called "Keep Me Away from Him." It's like stupid little things like that,
But it was
like
Kimi, like Kean.
yeah, like the character's name.
Yeah,
So
that's
it was
his
just like things like that. Like all his tracklist names are little tiny puns like that.
Like there's
I'm-
one in Coco. It's called "Will He Shoemaker?" Like it's like like will he make it? Will he shoemaker? Because of whatever. Like because the character made shoes. It's
I mean, in Werewolf by Night, the main titles for Marvel is
Mhm.
called main title, like MANE.
Like-
'cause
Like
it's
the
mane
wolf.
of a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
He
great.
would. He would.
He would
Yeah.
do
He
something
He would
like
make
that.
his own version of the Marvel music and then
He's
But-
like
create a title for it.
he's the ultimate dad joke of
Yeah.
his song
Scores.
titles. Yeah, of score titles.
But what I was going to mention earlier was like for Werewolf by Night and Thor: Love and Thunder, he did his own version of the Marvel's intro
Mhm.
title
right.
sequence, and they're both
Yeah, the Thor
so
one was
different.
like very rocky, right?
Yeah, the Thor one is like very like 80s rock,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, it's really
guitar
bombastic.
solo-y. And then the Werewolf by Night is like a horror classic type vibe. So
Yeah.
just
Did you guys ever watch Speed Racer?
Yes.
Because if you didn't like
Anthony's
that movie,
in my
even
brain
if
right
you didn't
now.
like the movie, the music was
Dude,
awesome.
you
I
were
enjoyed
in,
it.
Music
You were
was
in my
awesome.
I know,
brain.
that's
I was
another
just about to
Wachowski-
talk about Speed Racer.
Aside from Jupiter Ascending, another Wachowski movie.
Yeah,
Bum, bum,
definitely.
bum.
That's a movie if you want to like show off to people how good your TV is. Pop that movie in and it'll be like, wow,
Look
the
at that-
colors.
Look at that
The
green screen,
colors.
but also the colors. Dude, yeah, his score as someone who like grew up like watching reruns of the old cartoon, like the score is great. Like it's just it's a perfect. It's not like a weird remix or anything. It's perfectly orchestrated to have the Speed Racer theme built into it. That's funny. He's done two things with Matthew Fox. I just realized that because Matthew Fox is one of the main characters on Lost, and then Matthew Fox is also Racer X in Speed Racer. Yeah, great score on that. Another fun slightly dovetailing, but another fun name was we talked about the Batman. He had
Mhm.
the whole highway chase sequence was a highway to the anger zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so simple. Like in any other sense, it'd be so cheesy. But they're like, oh no, wait, this music is great, and then it just helps you remember it more by just being really kind of
The end credits theme for The Incredibles is
Mhm.
the in credits.
the in credits. Yeah, in credits.
Incredibles is so good.
There has. I'm pretty
It's so
sure
good.
you'll this we're recording this. It's the beginning of November. Between now and December, you might run into somebody who has yet to see that movie.
The Incredibles.
Yeah,
It's possible.
and then you got to tell them to get with it because holy.
I think a lot of Pixar movies.
Yeah, there are plenty of people that will look at that. There are people that I know that say, "Oh, it's an animated movie. I'm not gonna watch it."
Which side?
It sucks, but whatever. That's some people are like that.
That's on them. Oh, it's animated. It's for kids.
Yeah,
People need to realize that that's not a thing anymore. Like I even have family members like, oh, but why is this there for kids? And like, just because it's animated, it's not for children. Like you can tell stories animated, and those stories still need great music. And
Yeah.
that's where somebody like Michael Giacchino will come in, or Kevin Kiner, and all the Clone Wars stuff, and he did all the great stuff for Rebels too, and as a side too. Like that's like there's stuff that's out there that you just see that they're gonna kind of go up further. And I think it's now culminating to the point where like I don't think I know other than maybe like John Carpenter, but like somebody who like no, not even because John Carpenter is not an avid film scorer. Like Michael Giacchino's first a composer first, and now he's like a director too. So it's like bridging into that. Like that's a whole different level because there's a lot of times you guys see it like the director has to film everything first, and then they'll probably ship it or send it over to the composer. Like look what they do for Hans Zimmer.
Mhm.
For a lot of his movies, he'll have in his setup like the footage from the film. Other times he'll have stuff already made in place.
Pre-planned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it. Like I think for Inception, it was he had a meeting with Chris Nolan, and he's pretty much like, yeah, we talked about the movie and what the movie was about, and I kind of just made it up before even seeing anything of the movie, and then he saw the
adapted
movie.
it
He's
and
like,
made it work.
oh, this is even like much better than I thought, and then I think he only did like slight tweaks to like match it with what was going on with the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Chris Nolan was like super impressed. Like, yeah, I didn't even have to show him anything in the movie, and he already had like the perfect score for this.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to have this whole dialogue of what you're gonna do to make these things happen, or like how to create the ideas and how they come across from just an ideas to sound and a soundscape. But then if you're the guy doing it, imagine that. Just like, oh, I know the kind of music I'm gonna put right here. I'm gonna frame this entire shot sequence, and I already know the music that's playing in the background. Like that's kind of the fun stuff that I'd love to pick his brain about because that seems like it's a lot of fun.
I mean, you could tell he had a lot of fun doing Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell he had a whole lot of fun making this.
So it'll be cool to see what he does next, or next to be announced. So
Oh, he did that
I mean,
random
keep an eye
movie.
out.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who likes the recent Spider-Man movies, he has now he created that new main theme for the Marvel / Sony Spider-Man movies.
which I think is one of my favorite themes.
Yeah, it's cool.
in
Yeah.
the MCU.
So now he's done like 3 or 4 different Marvel characters, which is pretty nuts.
Doctor Strange, Thor, Spider-Man. 4.
Werewolf by Night, I guess.
Yeah, that's 4 now. And then 1 DC character.
As much as I like that he's doing that many, I kind of don't want him to do any more Marvel because I feel like each of the characters should have their own.
Gonna become the guy. Their own composer.
Yeah, their own. I mean, granted, they did before; they just weren't very memorable.
Alan Silvestri would like to argue with you.
Well, what
that
did
was
he
the
do?
Avengers.
Avengers.
And
The
Captain
thing is,
America.
that's memorable now, but I'm saying the Iron Man score was okay.
the original one.
Yeah, the original, it was
'cause-
okay, but it wasn't that memorable. And then
That's your Game of Thrones guy though.
I know, but
I'm
it wasn't
enjoying-
just wasn't that memorable.
Fair.
Game
Yeah.
of Thrones is better.
Thor's was kind of not memorable. The one that first to me that was
But-
memorable is the Captain America March.
Yes.
And I really like the composer who did the
Tones are
first
great.
Thor movie. It was just that movie. It just had okay
Who
music.
was
That's the guy from Puppeteer.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Go play Puppeteer. PS3.
PS3 in 3D. That game actually does great in 3D. As a side note, what was the name of that guy's game again?
Doyle.
Patrick Doyle.
Patrick Doyle.
Yeah, that guy does great music. Like I have that score for that game even on my phone. But yeah, then you think about it. It's I think only after the Avengers, Captain America, and then the Avengers is when music started getting more diverse and more recognizable. Um, Let me think. Yeah, like Guardians was helped because you had a lot of licensed music at the same time. But then you had Iron Man 3, and then even like after Civil War, like you had Doctor Strange. Again, like coming back to Michael Giacchino, his Doctor Strange score is really cool. Like it's really good. It's unique. It helps the characters stand out in their own story. It's dope. It's worth it.
I wanted to ask real quick. Okay, so when you're saying like the march from Captain America, who you say the composer was? 'Cause that's Alan Silvestri.
I did say Alan
Yeah.
Silvestri.
Okay, I thought you said Doyle.
No, that's for Thor.
Okay, for
the first
Thor.
Thor movie.
Yeah, Alan Silvestri did the Captain America and then
I
the
was
Avengers.
okay. I was really confused there for a second. That's why I had to like fact check myself on that one.
And
Actually, you know
low
what?
key try to fact check me.
That-
I see it. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
That theme that was made for the first Thor movie, I think it sounded pretty nice. Like it stood out to
The
me. a
theme,
little bit.
yeah, but like the overall
play
the
in the end
score of the
credits,
movie,
yeah.
it was just like
Kind of
I don't really
forgettable.
remember anything else.
I actually watched the video on music and Marvel, and they're in the MCU anyway, where like they point out that not a lot of characters have their own themes, nor is the music really memorable because
That's almost all of Phase 1. Yeah.
a lot of Phase 1's parts of Phase 2 kind of felt like that, but then you get more like actual themes, which I think Marvel should. You would think that Marvel would have themes, for their
Yeah.
characters. And we're slowly getting that now with.
Slowly. No, I think.
Well, I mean, okay, over like the
yeah.
last like.
Had to be like it took
over
like
the
6
last
years.
6 years,
but
yeah.
But like after, I would argue after. I don't know. We got back into this, but I argue after Iron Man 3 is when everybody started having their own kind of thing. Except for
I
the
could see
Guardians.
that.
The Guardians don't kind of count because it's just whatever's on Peter Quill's Zune
Soundtrack.
now.
Yeah, whatever his awesome
Hey, man.
mixtape.
Don't knock the Zune.
I would knock the Zune every time.
Zune HD is awesome.
Yeah, because even Ant-Man's theme is has that like that kind of like heist kind of theme going around to it, that heist feel to it all. Obviously, then you have Black Panther again as its own thing to be able to stand out. I know I'm forgetting a couple.
Back on the Matt
got Moon
Reeves
Knight.
train, he did Cloverfield also.
He did Cloverfield, all the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes, but yeah, and obviously we mentioned Batman, but yeah, Cloverfield. He didn't do 10 Cloverfield Lane, did he? I don't think
I
he did.
don't think so.
No.
I didn't see that here, so I don't think he did.
No. IMDb's a hell of a thing. Thank you, IMDb. This is half.
We're
a shout.
all on it right now.
Yeah,
like,
that's half a shout out to
scrolling.
IMDb.
I'm on Wikipedia.
But it's nuts that I think about it. Michael Giacchino has maybe adapted or used something that was originally a John Williams theme at least twice, because you have Rogue One with Star Wars.
You have
No, he does Jurassic World.
Yeah, Jurassic World.
Is he gonna do the new Indiana Jones, or is John Williams still doing that?
No, John Williams is doing that one. I
Okay.
think that might be his last one. But I'm trying to think if he did anything else.
Like
no.
anything else from
From
that
John
he
John
stole
Williams?
from John Williams.
He stole. Hey,
Did John Williams do anything with Mission Impossible?
no, that was
Never, no.
No, he never did that.
Okay.
That was Lalo Schifrin, I think, the original theme.
I don't see anything here that John Williams would have done originally. From like. back in
If they reboot Jaws, he might do the Jaws music.
I think no
I
one.
could see that.
I mean,
happening.
Michael Giacchino was an actor in Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
He's a Rando Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Rando
Stormtrooper or a random person in a cloak on Exegol.
No, he's episode
No, it's
7.
Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
Episode 7,
Oh,
he
okay.
means.
Episode 7.
What about Brian? No. No. Oh, I don't know if he did the video game Black. I remember that game. That game was all about like guns, like just shooting everything. Yeah. Anyway.
But- Man, what a list to have
But
on your resume.
most likely, if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably seen a movie that has his music in it or has his influence.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So definitely seems like he's gonna be continuing doing future Disney / Marvel and probably / Star Wars projects. So yeah,
/ Matt Reeves projects.
keep an ear out for him, because
Or keep an eye out if he's going to be doing more directing.
right, that too.
Nuts.
Who knows?
Crazy.
Maybe he'll do another
Double.
1 hour short for Marvel in a year or two. That'd be pretty cool. I think this is like a testing ground. This and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Hopefully they might
do
end
more
up doing
shorts.
more instead of doing a 6 episode 20-minute show. Maybe they'll just do a short.
Could be. I mean,
I wouldn't mind. Some of those shows maybe shouldn't be 6 episodes.
could be longer. It could be shorter. Yeah. But I think if there's ever a way that even if he just randomly ever listens to it once, like we'd all collectively say thank you to Michael Giacchino should he ever listen to this down the road one day. Man, I know you get it all the time, but it's the variety and the unique take you have on your orchestrations are just incredible, and thank you. 'Cause
Fantastic.
They're absolutely great. Especially shout out to all your work on Lost
Mhm.
and your early work in your video
If
games,
you-
my man.
if-
Awesome.
If any of you have the chance, he occasionally plays live. Sometimes he plays an assortment of music that he's done in concert. Other times he plays the music of Lost, which I ended up seeing that one time a few years back in LA. But yeah,
Did
look him up.
Did he actually
Conduct.
Yeah, he was there. He
conducted?
was a composer. Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah.
conductor, yeah, not
That's the
composer.
dream.
Well, both. But yeah, so they had some of the actors there. They had the creators there talking about the show, and then it was like 2.5 hour show of
That's
Lost
awesome.
music. Yeah, it was
That's
really
so
cool.
You said it was where in Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Would it happen to have been at the Walt Disney Concert Hall?
no,
Oh, damn.
not that one. They might have done it another one there, but I know
Because
that-
it's like the first place I think of.
I know
when
the
think
very
of that.
first place they did a Lost concert was in Hawaii because that's where they shot the show.
Yeah. That's pretty
But
cool.
yeah, he's done it a couple of times, just like how Hans Zimmer does live shows. John Williams also does live shows. He usually does it at the Hollywood Bowl. So most likely, if you're in Los Angeles, you can catch one of these live performances. But yeah,
That would be cool to see.
Giacchino's awesome.
Yeah, Giacchino is awesome. Michael Giacchino, you are awesome. Thank you so much again. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this special episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast. We can go on and on about movie scores, but we'd love to see and hear from you all what your favorite Michael Giacchino score is. Anything that we may have not have mentioned, or maybe your favorite tracks or moments
Track
or
names?
track names would be great too. Share them out. We want to hear it out. Engage. Just have a lot of fun with it. You can find us again on Popcorn Watchlist on Twitter and Popcorn Watchlist on Instagram. If you are not following already, please do. Also on YouTube, Popcorn Watchlist. We have our fun little snippets, slightly more digestible if you want to check that out, as well as our live video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Later, guys.
Logo and Prosper.
Bye bye.